Okay, this will be an interesting one from the late 90s, if I remember correctly. Not my kind of music, but we'll see if we can make this into something interesting nonetheless. Going to leave it on 200 and see what that looks. Fuck, I hate this user interface, folks. It's Konica Minolta's shit. They tried to make this these photocopiers behave like smartphones, but it turns out to be a real gimmick. It's not good, folks. Okay, let's see what this is. It is the Spice Girls, Spice World. Okay, Spice Girls, not my cup of tea. Very cream puffy, very girly-ish. Too much girliness for my liking. This is a bit too small. We got this. So, but basically the Spice Girls just really, they're just silly. Honestly though, what a stupid name, Spice Girls. So they could seduce men with their stupid spiciness. But they had their run of hits, but you don't hear about them these days. They seem to have run their race, gotten a bit old now. But they were popular, they were big in the 90s when they were there. Now that's a good fit, almost. But basically, yeah, they just fizzled out eventually. They fizzled. They fizzled. They're no longer popular like a lot of faddish things that you get these days. They're just a bit fatty. So they sort of burned out like a lot of bands do. Even talented bands have a use by date. Yeah, I think we moved it too far up because we've got that. I don't want that planet there. I want to make it go down into the middle. But Spice Girls, yeah, they were a bit faddish. And sometimes there's a lot of things that are faddish. Yeah, still got that globe we don't want. So I'm just going to put that aside. Spice Girls. Spice. So yeah, they had their time on the charts. They were popular, and now maybe memories to some people who are really young back then. Yeah, that looks better. It's not perfectly centered, but I think it's good enough because we're going to make this into a movement piece using this picture. So now we're just going to remove this, going to put it aside and put it back with the album. I'm not going to throw it out because I know a lot of people probably would like to purchase this really cheap. Even though I don't like the Spice Girls myself. Yeah, that looks interesting, the way they're all over the place. The Spice Girls. I'm going to try it again. Yeah, that looks interesting. We didn't get many of the faces of the Spice Girls, but maybe this would make, I don't know, maybe we can do it again, see if we can make something better. Sorry folks. That's the wrong one. Just trying to think what to do next. Try that again. Got that song Spice Up the World going through my head. Yeah, that looks interesting. I like the way the dots look. I'm wondering if maybe this piece, I don't know which piece looks the best. That looks really quite nice. I'm going to try it again, folks. It's not an easy one, trying to make it look any decent. Spice up the world, every boy and every girl. Silly. I guess they called themselves the Spice Girls. They wanted to show the world that they were sexually attractive, because obviously that's what the word spice is meant to connotate. It's meant to be that. It's meant to be being like a cream puff. I wonder if we can use that one. So it's basically being a Spice Girl is like being a cream puff, like being super feminine, super sexual, but it's not sexual at all. It's not attractive. It's really tarty and boring. I think it's boring, to be honest, folks. It's not sexy type of music. It's not romantic. And it's boring music anyway. So it's bland. It's not spicy at all. It's blando. It's El Blando. To call themselves spicy isn't really real. But basically, yeah, they are bland. They are a bland band or group. They are bland. They just don't have any flavour, any real flavour. but they call themselves the Spice Girls because they dressed up in sexy outfits and danced around and tried to make out that they were sexually hot. It's boring. So they called themselves the Spice Girls, but they didn't really live up to being truly spicy. I don't like this one. But basically, yeah, they never appealed to me, this band. This band never appealed. This is going to be a spicy long demo, folks. This demo is going for a very long time when it comes to the Spice Girls. Going to use that one as our next iteration. But the Spice Girls were just so bland and boring, and yet they were marketed as sexually appealing and sexy and hot and spicy. No, and nothing of the sort. You could say it was clever marketing that got these girls performing the way that they did. Still hasn't got what I want. But basically I just never got off on this group. I never found this group exciting or interesting, except in a love to hate sort of manner. I think they weren't really a band. I think they were just what's called a formula group, where they were just put together by producers to make money. But basically they just didn't have, they're not talented from what I could tell. They were just put together to make money. And the people loved them, at least for a while, but then they fizzled. Like, even talented bands have a shelf life, pretty much. And most music these days, you wouldn't have old music coming back, old bands that used to be famous coming back on the charts. It doesn't happen that way anymore. So trying to make this into something really nice. It's not working. But basically, you don't see music bands reappearing on the radio anymore. They only come, everything has to be like totally new, pretty much. So celebrities in the music industry have a short shelf life, which is really nasty. You know, like talented people being pushed aside for people who are less talented, who are willing to, who might be more profitable for their video work. Anyway, this looks interesting. Wondering where I'm going to stretch it, and I think we're going to keep the vertical. We're just going to stretch it. But, you know, it's like everything's got a shelf life these days. Everything's about profit, for profit. Everything's about money, making a quick dollar at the expense of everything else. That shouldn't be the way, folks, and the music industry is like that. I'm sure the Spice Girls didn't really have any major talent. They were just good on, they made good videos. good videos, as in sexual appeal videos. So you just, and nowadays it's like it's the same old shit. But they don't even have any appeal. I don't find them sexually attractive, as in the music. I don't find them interesting. Their music's shit. It's bland in more ways than one, both sexually and non-sexually. Their music is fuck. It's all bland. They just don't have. Wondering how we're going to make this look any good. Going to have to blow that off the page. It's a nice bit, but it doesn't go with the rest of the image. So I'm going to have to put it back 200%. This is going to be a really long, spiced up demo. But the Spice Girls were indeed just another fad, and nowadays it's all fatty. It's all fad inspired. Everything's about here today, gone tomorrow, and it's just maybe and it just doesn't seem to work out anymore. We don't have stars that last. We don't have any. Nothing lasts anymore. And yeah, those stars that appear in the music industry, many of them, or I don't know what percentage of them, but most of them can't sing. Or that's what I've heard. And they put their voices through auto-tune to make it sound better. And they pay these artists, of course, less than talented artists. And the talented artists get kicked to the curb and they're not making any money. You know, they're not the untalented ones look good on video, but they can't sing half the time, so they have to treat their voices electronically with a thing called auto-tune, which is really crap. You know, like, what's the point in being talented these days when your talent gets, you could say, kicked to the curb in favour of cheap and nasty, non-talented fucks who take their jobs. I mean, seriously, we don't need this. Whatever happened to the days when people would sing their own lyrics, write their own song, singer-songwriter? What has happened to the singer-songwriter? It's like they've been kicked to the curb. They are not allowed to write their own music. Everyone who performs in the music industry has to abide by the lyrics that get fed to them by the so-called producers. I don't know what they call them, ghostwriters. But they do. They get told to sing this, get told to sing that. Doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. If it's really so fake. This music industry is shit. It's so fucking fake. I'm getting a bit shaky here. This is not easy. So yeah, it doesn't matter if you have the best lyrics, the best singing voice, the best ability to play an instrument. It's not considered anymore. It's fucked. Fucktards controlling the music industry just care about money, and they make cheap and nasty music. And I don't even listen to the fucking radio. There's just nothing good on it anyway. So let's see what we have. This spiced up Spice Girls image. See if we've spiced it up better than they spiced up their music. Their music was shit. Anyway, apart from the Spice Girls, that looks really nice. I think now we can call this prolongated demo quit.